feel like the lighting's off. Gabby Start is one of the most intriguing pop artists of the last few years, and with that, severely overlooked. Since his debut in late 2021, Gabby has released 2 EPs, Luca and Alex. And despite these projects only being EPs, these short projects build sonic worlds like an album, completely immersing you in these beautiful sounds. Gabby does this wonderfully by striking a nostalgic chord while simultaneously hitting you with new sounds you've never heard before. The writing side of things holds up just as well as the production, with Gabby writing intriguing and memorable verses around some of the most catchy choruses you'll ever hear. My favorite example of this is the track Mid, which contains the refrain, "A little more in my mouth," throughout pretty much the entirety of the track, and this leads the track to be an absolute earworm that I cannot get enough of. I've genuinely had the "a little more in my mouth" line stuck in my head for weeks at a time, where I'm just kind of repeating it to myself, like under my breath, just a lot. It's just, I think, due to it, like, kind of just being, like, placed, like, there's very few segments in the track where that is just not being played, so I think it really forces it down your ears and just into your head, and it just does not leave. To me, a substantial part of why Gabby has this catchy value is due to his charming vocal delivery. He implements such an intriguing range of stylings. He's a fantastic example of an artist who doesn't have the most amazing voice on a technical level, but he still really plays to his strengths to have a vocal performance that really sticks out. Along with playing to his strengths, Gabby also does this by layering vocals seamlessly throughout every track. My favorite example of this is on Welcome to the Plant Cell Bath, where he has these super over-the-top ad-libs that make the build so much better. Partly why I like these ad-libs so much is due to their subtlety. For the first few listens, I didn't even notice them. However, as soon as I did, they became my favorite part of the entire song. This goes to show how many little bits and pieces Gabby implements into creating these fantastic tracks. But the music doesn't flaunt how carefully created it is. It just simply is, and with that, just sounds great. This is such thoughtful pop music that it integrates so many elements so seamlessly that it seems as if it isn't as complex as it truly is because of how perfectly everything fits into place. A fantastic contradiction of everything I have said so far is Gabby's longest song, the Air Traffic Control Tower, which is easily my favorite Gabby song and is just such an interesting track. The Air Traffic Control Tower is a nearly 5-minute pop masterpiece that throws you in a million different directions, which at first can be a bit annoying and confusing, but as I listened to the track over and over again, I really started to gain an understanding of how genius this song really is. This song boldly begins with a raw acapella, bringing in sparse drums and synths. That lasts for about a minute until the instrumental shifts into a completely different sonic palette of distorted guitars. From here, the song has the most weird and awkward build I have ever heard, that leads into the most weird and awkward chorus I've ever heard, but then releases this awkward tension beautifully in the next verse, shifting into an instrumental that uses these absolute power chords. I love this because it's all so intentional when you really look at it. Gabby purposely builds this odd tension and releases it in this amazingly satisfying hook. That build and release is really what makes me keep coming back to this track over and over and over and over again. That build and release is what makes great and catchy music so great and catchy. Gabby uses his understanding of that to a great advantage, exemplifying this idea to the highest degree, leading to one of the most exciting pop songs of the decade. Finally, I'd like to talk about the outro of this song. I'm not really including it in the discussion of the first part because it feels like a completely different track, but it's just as impressive. The outro for Air Traffic Control Tower is a little over a minute long and filled with emotion and power. Backed by nostalgic guitar and glitchy drums, Gabby has a fantastic verse with the smoothest delivery, making it look absolutely effortless. Typically, when I really want to talk about a verse, I interpret everything line by line, but with the way Gabby writes, that doesn't really make sense and doesn't really work, and I wouldn't really know how to do it. And that's kind of what makes Gabby's writing remarkable to me, is it's so like abstractly written, yet it can be also so personal, leaving the listener to be able to like interpret the lyrics independently due to their like vagueness. And it's not even in like a pop music like industrial way where it's like, oh, this is just trying to appeal to like as wide as an audience as it possibly can, but it's just like, it's a very unique way of writing where there's a lot of this like, it's just very abstract and like just like, oh, like it's just like, okay, look, I'm gonna Google a Gabby, I'm gonna like read some Gabby lines.
You said I'm delusional. What are you even talking about? You must have lost your mind. Well, I think you should shut your mouth. You sure are a philosopher of a different caliber. So can I ask you something? What do you think of the drugs? Because I think the kid needs something to go through. Like, what is he even talking about? I have absolutely no idea. Okay, especially, I just read like a verse, but the bridge after that is like, this is like my favorite example of like, I have no idea what he's talking about, but I really just like, I love it so much. It's, okay, no, I'm just gonna play it actually. I'm just gonna play it. I'm done like slam poetrying Gabby verses, but it's just really odd.
It's like there's the drugs, and then there's me. Like two separate cameras on the same scene. What do the drugs see from me? I need to know what the drugs think. I need to know.
Like, I just like, sometimes I hear this and he's just absolutely saying nonsense, but I really like it. And I feel like there might be like, he has like lore or something, like wallsocket does like underscores, but I don't know. I just think it's I think you can just kind of apply like your own, whatever own meaning you want to it, because they're just how like none of this shit makes sense. But it's just also just interesting to me. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool stuff. Anyways, back to my script. Though Gabby has a very sparse catalog of features, the ones he does have are absolutely amazing. Gabby has a feature on all 3 underscores projects, but to me, the highlight is easily his feature on Locals Girls Like Us. This feature has the utmost personality and vocal delivery, forcing you to have this catchy verse stuck in your head for hours. I'm pretty sure Gabby actually based his verse off of Pavement's track Stereo, which I thought was super interesting and is actually what got me into the band. This can especially be seen with the similarities in the respective opening lines, but what I really like about the inspiration Gabby took on this track is the similarities in the delivery of the verse. On Stereo, Stephen Malkmus has this somewhat sloppy and overall very unique vocal delivery. I absolutely love it, and really interesting vocal stylings like this is what made me fall in love with like Pavement as a band. Then on Locals, Gabby takes the sloppy and odd delivery and adjusts it to his own strengths, creating a brand new delivery, taking the best from both his own style and Steven's. Gabby is honestly such a powerhouse of a pop artist, and this might be a little bold to say, but I feel like he's kind of like an equivalent of a like modern day J. Paul, where he's really just like pushing the boundaries like J. Paul did with his like Leaked album, where he's just like being unbelievably inventive and just putting out like shit you've never heard before, really. And I cannot wait for an album from Gabby eventually. I think it'll really like break him into the mainstream, or not even the mainstream, but just into like the more like general eye of like the scene. Like he'll be held in the same regard as someone like Underscores maybe, or like Break-Ins, I don't know, but I feel like he might be more up there. And like he's just been putting out nothing, I feel like, but like absolute perfection since he's gone under the Gabby Start alias, where he's just been like every project, well, he only has 2 projects, but they're both like, there's not a single track on there that isn't super interesting. And even with that, he has little tracks that he puts on SoundCloud like Flesh Without Blood and Animal, and those are also unbelievable. And he also has a new track coming out on, I believe, the 28th, called Boys, which I'm really excited for because I actually saw it when he performed it live when he's touring with Break-Ins. I saw him live with Break-Ins, and he played that song, and it's pretty sick. So I'm excited to hear it in my headphones. Yeah, so subscribe because I'm going to be putting out a video like this every Wednesday from now on. Also, go subscribe to my main channel where I post much longer and higher production value videos about your favorite artists. Like I have one on Underscores because I assume if you're listening to Gabby you like Underscores, and it's an hour-and-a-half long analysis of her whole discography, and I'm really proud of it. I think you should check it out. And also follow my Twitter page for non-stop bangers 24/7 on top of updates on the videos I'm putting out. So yeah, hope you guys stay around because I'm gonna have a lot coming out here, especially this summer. I'm gonna have tons of stuff coming out. So yeah.